What's going on, you bunch of heathens? Today we are checking out Uprising. This is the next song that y'all were saying I should check out. It's another Polish song. I'm assuming it's... I mean, it says 1944 Warsaw Uprising on the history portion, so I'm assuming this is about the Polish rebellion during that time. Yeah. Don't really have much else to say. Should be a fun video. Hope you guys enjoy it. And without further ado, let's jump in. I love it when they start songs like that.
When the Nazis was the rule on Poland, 1939, and the Allies
Damn.
away.
Damn, kinda. They actually name dropped the Nazis. 2010. Oh, so this is an old video. Okay. That makes sense. Damn. I'm just surprised they actually, like, named... Like, you could kind of tell from the way the video's shot and, like, the quality that this is kind of an older one. But, no, that actually kind of threw me off that they name-dropped them.
From the underground rose a hope of freedom as a whisper. Sits in despair, but they never lost their faith. Women, men, and children fight. They were dying side by side, and the blood they shed upon the streets was a sacrifice willingly paid. Warsaw, city at war.
Yeah, they weren't gonna go down without a fight. Like, honestly, from all we've seen, and from what I know, the Poles won't go down without a fucking fight. They refuse to at this point.
Help that never came, calling Warsaw, city at war. Voices from underground, whispers of freedom. Rise up and hear the call. History calling to you.
Ooh. That was a cool tidbit.
Spirit, soul, and heart in accordance with the old traditions. 1944, still the Allies burn away. Fighting street to street in a time of hope and desperation. Did it on their own, and they never lost their faith. Women, men, and children fight. They were dying side by side, and the blood they shed upon the streets was a sacrifice willingly paid.
Odd.
Warsaw, city at war. Voices from underground, whispers of freedom.
God, the actual war footage is insane.
That never came. Calling Warsaw, city at war. Voices from underground, whispers of freedom. Rise up and hear the call. History calling to you.
Oh, they're doing the execution scene because I saw one move. Oh no. Oof. They're good though. I like the song. Music video is pretty good too. Little dated, obviously, from 2010. At least when it was uploaded. But I like it. This is a fun video. God, and who's the actor playing that dude? He seems very familiar. I was right. I was thinking that's who it was, but I wasn't sure. I was thinking this was who it was. Yeah, and it's Peter Stormare. That's so cool. That's actually really, that's really dope. I love that. Has Peter Stormare ever played a good guy? Okay. I was thinking it was him, but I wasn't positive. Glad to know it was him. Because I was like, was it him? But no, it really was. That's dope as shit. Awesome. Oh, that was a hell of a cut. Really like the chorus of this. Or whatever the fuck you would call this. I would call this a chorus, but I don't know shit about actual music production. Damn. Good video. Good. Really good. All right. We're gonna jump into the history portion now.
There are times when the struggle is so monumental that you know you will not win. You know you will not survive. And you know you will not even make great change. And yet you still make that fight.
And our song Uprising is about that.
God, what a fucking hell. That's a fucking dark way to start that shit.
This is Sabaton History, and I'm Spartacus Olson. I'm sitting in for Indy today because the current pandemic has left many of us stuck in different places over the past months and thrown our recording schedule around a bit. But I'm also the host and lead writer of the sub-series War Against Humanity on our World War II channel, where
this was a fucking... Damn! I was expecting Indy, didn't see... Damn, this is cool. I feel like I've watched him before, though. I wonder if it was on the World War II channel. So I have watched a couple of their videos on their World War II channel. I wasn't sure if it was... I'm pretty sure it was on my own time. But he seems very... His cadence, his voice, and his look is very familiar to me.
I cover resistance, partisan warfare, war crimes, and crimes against humanity during the Second World War, which are also the topics of Sabaton's song, Uprising. Okay, so... It's July 1944. The Eastern Front is in motion.
I love his
German
voice.
Army Group
His voice is so nice.
In the face of repeated offensives by the Soviet First Belarusian Front, now striking deep into Poland. It is widely expected that capturing Warsaw will be the next thing on the list of the Red Army objectives. With the end of the German occupation literally on the horizon, the leaders of the Polish underground resistance, the Armia Krajowa, or Home Army, meet for a secret meeting.
I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if this is just me, but I love the sound of the Polish language. I'm not sure if that's just me or what it is. There's something about the language that I really, really like.
After nearly 5 years of occupation, humiliation, and suffering, the resistance of Warsaw is eager to rise up.
As they should be.
Calls are made to the exiled Polish government in London, who in turn appeal to the British and American authorities for help. The time has come. The Poles will now fight to take back their capital.
Yeah, come on, guys. Help us out. The Russians already invaded us once. We don't want it to happen again. We want to stay our own country.
However, the Western allies are hesitant to promise help outright. They welcome resistance against the Germans, sure, but they do have logistical problems with the fight in France and Italy in full swing at the same time. But mostly, this is the Soviet theater of war, and they don't want to step on any toes, so the Poles will have to rely on Soviet cooperation first and foremost.
Yeah. You mean the Soviets who helped Germany invade? Those Soviets? That is a bold request from... God damn. I don't know what I would think in that situation. Hey, you know the guys who helped these other bad guys invade you? Yeah. We're not going to help you. You're going to have to request them for aid. Because I'm sure nothing bad could ever come from that.
However, the position of the Home Army towards the Soviet Union is one of uncertainty and mistrust, as memories of the pact between Hitler and Stalin that had swallowed and divided Poland are still pretty fresh.
Yeah, it's not that long ago.
Nothing. Then the Red Army will overrun Poland and the government in exile will be powerless in the newly communist Poland. But if the rising is successful, then Warsaw will be in the hand of democratic Poles. Then they hope that the autocratic Soviet Union can't simply impose its will on Poland, so the Poles have everything to win and everything to lose.
Good
However,
motivation.
The Germans still have strong forces in the region. If the resistance rises up before the Wehrmacht there can be wholly engaged with the Red Army, the Germans would most certainly crush them. So the Polish Home Army has to wait for the last possible moment when the Red Army is on the outskirts of Warsaw. Then, with logistical help from the West and cooperation from the Red Army, the insurgents could drive the Germans out of the city. At least one of those two last things has to happen, or the rising is doomed.
And considering how the song was going, and what we were just hearing, I have a feeling that the Allies weren't going to be very forthcoming with logistics. Maybe I'm wrong, though.
1939, and the Allies turned away. From the underground rose a hope of freedom as a whisper. Sitting despair, but they never lost their faith.
Was that a HOARD?
Back in February...
God, yeah. Dude. Let me back up really quick. This symbol, or whatever it is, I love this symbol, because isn't this also the symbol of the Polish Grom? I love the Polish Grom. Or no, it's not. JW Grom, Morale Chapter of Poland's... Oh, it's the Morale Chapter. Okay. Yeah, I fucking love the Grom, by the way. Don't know if y'all knew that. Like, that's a weird little tidbit from me that you probably wouldn't know. I actually really like the Grom. The reason, like, I fell in love with the Grom because I first through, God, reading Navy SEAL books of, like, No Easy Day, the book that was written about the dude one of the dudes who was on the raid to kill bin Laden. Good book, from what I remember. I'd have to find my copy again. I want to say Chris Kyle's book, he worked with Grom. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that one. I know for a fact they did it in No Easy Day. But also, Medal of Honor Warfighter. One of my favorite games ever. Absolutely love that game. I'm so sad the multiplayer isn't a thing anymore. Like, that multiplayer was so good. The campaign was so good. Oh, just magnificent. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I fell in love with them through that, and I looked into them a lot through both those games. And just, super fun. Super, super fun. And in Siege, the two sisters who are Grom have this symbol. Just, overall, I just really like Grom. I like Poland in general. Poland just always seemed really fucking cool to me. Poland is definitely a place I would love to visit.
Back in February, the resistance fighters outside of Warsaw had made contact with Soviet Marshal Rokossovsky's spearheads.
Also, sorry for pausing again. I was going to mention something else, but I saw that and it put me off track. And now I don't remember what I was originally going to say, unfortunately.
Rokossovsky agreed to principal tactical cooperation, but refrained from promising anything beyond that. And when the Home Army then begins revealing itself to the Soviets, they are greeted with unexpectedly hostile behavior. The available reports of the NKVD, the Soviet Interior Ministry and Secret Police...
Damn, NKVD, that's a name I've heard in a while.
They call the Polish Home Army illegal formations, rebels, and bandits. They are white Poles allied to Great Britain and are an old enemy. See, although they currently fight the same enemy, Polish nationalism is contradictory to Stalin's plan. And of course, it's only been a bit more than 20 years since the Poles won the Polish-Soviet War, and one of the people really responsible for the loss of the Battle of Warsaw back then was Joseph Stalin. The NKVD.
Oh, that's a big blow to Stalin's pride then. Oh no, that's fucking horrible. Okay, I had to look this up because I wasn't sure. I didn't think so, but I had to double check whether or not Poland was actually part of the USSR. No, it was an independent country, but functioned as a Soviet satellite state. So it was a puppet state. I mean, Moscow controlled Poland's military, foreign policy, and communist government. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the Allies not coming to be the ones to help them, so the Soviet Union, it's Stalin especially, if something like that happened and he was a fucking stain against Stalin's, like, pride, he was never going to let Poland be free. Like, in any way that mattered.
Makes it clear that they will not allow any irregular or partisan actions in the rear of their armies. Soon, any Polish resistance fighters caught behind the front line is arrested, disarmed, and removed. By July, more than 30,000 Home Army fighters have been interned by the Red Army. Inside Warsaw, the Home Army is caught between the desire for action and the need for caution. The atmosphere in the city is tense, and Pole and German alike feel that something is about to go down. By August, the Soviet front draws close.
It's going to be the Red Army invading.
Prepares to halt Soviet attacks across the Vistula. The Home Army decides to risk everything. On the night of August 1st, groups of armed young men break curfew and gather throughout the city. At 0500, they strike. German trucks are bombed and German patrols gunned down. They storm the railway office, the post office, and the major power station. Most importantly, they capture storehouses, taking German helmets and weapons, camouflage jackets, and even SS uniforms. To distinguish themselves from their enemy, they wear their white and red armbands or eagle insignias. Around 2,500 insurgents fall the first day, and many...
God, again, another weird thing. I really like the Polish flag. Like, I don't know what it is. The Polish flag looks fucking awesome to me. Like, it really does. The white and red is so simple, but so good. I love it. It just looks so cool to me. Like, y'all got a cool ass flag, in my opinion. It's super simple. The only thing about it, which no shade to you guys at all whatsoever, the only issue with it is that for someone who doesn't see it like regularly enough, is it gets confusing some with the God, what is it? The Indonesian flag. Yeah. It's literally the colors flipped on top of each other. The only thing I have to remember is when it comes to the flags, I just have to remember that Poland red is on the bottom, whereas Indonesia red's on the top. But god damn, it's such a good and simple flag. It's recognizable. So good.
Civilians are caught in the crossfire, but although they are not able to make the police district or the airport, the day is considered a success. They have been able to free many Jews from the SS concentration camp known as Goose Farm, and even managed to capture a tank. Large
Fuck
parts
yeah.
of the city are now under
Damn,
their
they stole a
control, so they
fucking
must continue to
panther?
fight until
At least I
help
think that's what
arrives.
that was.
They informed London
Not positive.
by radio that the fight for Warsaw has begun. On the night of the 4th, the first British bombers are spotted over the skies of Warsaw. The Poles rejoice as crates filled with weapons and supplies are parachuted in. They have not been forgotten by their allies. The Germans,
Thankfully,
however, are now reacting as well. Anti-insurgency specialist SS Obergruppenführer Erich von dem Bach arrives in Warsaw. He reports back to SS Commander Heinrich Himmler the real scale of the rising, and Himmler flies into a violent
goddamn
rage.
hell of
He
a
orders
fucking
von dem Bach to not only crush the insurgency, but to obliterate Warsaw.
God, I know I talked about how I like the Polish language. Germany has some really cool like pronunciations as well. Like his not Heinrich, Erich von dem Bach.
Bach arrives.
Like
Anti-insurgency specialist SS Obergruppenführer Erich von dem Bach arrives
like that
in Warsaw. He reports
in the back of the
to SS
throat,
Commander Heinrich
the
Himmler,
like
the real scale
phlegm
of the
almost
rising. Himmler
sounds
flies into
like
violent
is a
rage. He orders von
is
dem Bach
nice sound
not
to me.
only crush the insurgency, but to obliterate Warsaw. The home of Polish history and culture is to be liquidated once and for all. The Wehrmacht, however, had their hands full fighting the Red Army, so Himmler orders his own SS troops to Warsaw. What arrives at that city is an assortment of some of the most notoriously undisciplined, criminal, and murderous SS units the Nazis have to offer.
God
The
damn,
SS
they
Brigade
really didn't like the
Yellow,
fucking Polish,
the
huh?
Russian SS Rona Brigade, Cossack and Azerbaijani auxiliary regiments, several Einsatzgruppen and military police units. And for a few days, these units take Himmler's orders literally. Fighting the insurgency almost becomes a secondary objective as they kill every man, woman, and child in sight and systematically set their homes on fire. Tens of thousands of people are slaughtered. It becomes so bad with so many reports
God,
of rapes
fucking
and looting
evil.
that von dem Bach has officers shot to try and rein in the men. He has
Fuck. Even when you're, oh my god. Like, I'm trying to put this in a way of this dude. He's just like not a good man. But then here's even the men that his commander sent in, and it's just like, dude, no, this is too fucking much. I have to rein these guys in. And it's gotten so bad, I'm having to shoot officers trying to rein them in. Is insane.
issue orders to not summarily shoot women and children anymore. The city becomes an urban battlefield. Loudspeakers urge.
Yeah, but how often was that actually followed?
Killed. The Luftwaffe and German artillery bombed the rebel districts, but the insurgents proved resilient. They hide in Warsaw's deep cellars and use the destroyed buildings to entrap the enemy. They lure them into killing zones where snipers and grenadiers await them. The ruined city denies the SS their numerical advantage, and after 2 weeks of fighting, neither side has that advantage. The Poles fight from the street barricades and fortified cellars connected by trenches and sewers. Women and children work tirelessly in underground kitchens, hospitals, and makeshift workshops. Days turn to weeks. By the end of August, though, even as the spirit of the insurgency is still high, the outside world is eerily quiet.
Women, men, and children fight. They would die in side by side. And the blood they shed upon the streets was a sacrifice willingly paid.
Even contemporary German sources expect the Soviets to try to link up with the insurgents as quickly as possible. The Red Army advances towards the Baltics and the Balkans, but not on the Vistula. Winston Churchill is among the first to make the assumption that this pause during the most critical moment of the Rising, where any Soviet attack might have tipped the scale, is deliberate. Rokossovsky stands just 20
It was
kilometers
definitely
away.
fucking deliberate.
How come, since the end of July, not one Soviet aircraft has been seen flying over Warsaw?
They don't want to help the
No drop
Poles.
has been made, no shelling of German positions. Did Stalin condemn the Rising to its fate? For historians, it's impossible to know Stalin's exact inner motives. Many of the records regarding Poland are still sealed tightly in Russian archives. Reliable intelligence was certainly scarce, and the reports from the NKVD
I'd say-
portray the insurgency as a reckless adventure by a gang of criminals and bandits.
No, I would say, like, I get the whole, oh, you don't know for a fact, but I could almost certainly guarantee he was pissed over the fact that he, especially considering the fact that he had a hand in losing the Polish-Soviet uprising revolution beforehand. The fact that, at least I'm pretty sure that's what they meant when they said that was almost guarantee a reason why he's like, no, let them fucking die. We'll come in and clean up afterward. Let them fight each other. Let the rats fight each other. We'll come in and clean up afterward.
Polish nationalism has no place in Stalin's great strategy. The British will cancel their airlifts as well because of the inefficiency of sending planes from Italian air bases 1,300 kilometers away. There are actually over 200 U.S. Air Force planes stationed in Poltava, but Stalin denies them airspace over Poland. Inside Warsaw, losses are heavy on both sides. The Germans have been forced to reinforce the SS with crack units like the Hermann Göring Panzerdivision, and slowly but surely the insurgents are pushed back into the city center. Fighting continues unabated in the cemeteries, the suburbs.
I didn't want to mention it when I was listening to the song, but in the song, by the way, I realized you can really tell with this one, he hasn't inserted parts of the song into this one comparatively to a normal one, which is super interesting to hear. But when it comes to this, you can really feel, this song-wise at least, you can really feel like kind of holding a grudge still to the Allies of the Allies never came, like no help came. You can kind of feel the grudge in that, and honestly, from what I'm hearing, makes sense. I kind of hold a grudge too. Like, when we fucking needed you, y'all weren't here. I don't fucking blame them.
Former ghetto. But by September, the situation grows desperate. They have held out far longer than expected, but they cannot win a battle of attrition. Down to a quarter of their fighting strength, and with food and medical supplies dwindling, negotiations for surrender begin. But just then, in mid-September, the Soviets suddenly attack the eastern outskirts of Warsaw. It is General Berling's army, made up of Polish communists and collaborators, who attack the German garrisons. Soviet planes now drop supplies, and Soviet artillery shells the city. All surrender negotiations are broken off, and the Polish spirits rise. Volunteers swim the Vistula to greet their allies. But they never return. Reports soon reach the home army that those volunteers are arrested and interrogated about their holdouts and their officers. and some are even tortured and shot. Berling's attempt is not the long-awaited Soviet offensive. Rokossovsky does not move, and the insurgency is doomed.
Nope, wait until they're super fucking weak. And now that they're weak, we're going to push in, take the victory, and stomp out what little resistance there now is.
On September 18th,
That's my, at least that's my thought.
Make one last supply run, but it is too late. Nearly all of the crates parachute into German territory as the insurgents are by now pressed into a small area in the city center. Left with only a handful of blocks and streets, the Home Army has no real choice. They can either surrender to the Nazis, who will probably murder them, or try to escape to the Soviets, who will likely turn on them as well. The final shot of the
No fucking winning there.
2nd has lasted 63 days. Civilians and insurgents alike are arrested and sent to concentration camps. The ruins of the western part of the city are now once again occupied by the Germans. In the east, just across the river, the Soviets stand and watch. Poland, once again, is divided between the Germans and the Soviets, but not forever, for the old words ring true. Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła, póki nie śniemy. Poland
See,
is not
cool
yet
ass language.
as long as we live.
And great saying. Hell, I fucking love it when they show these live concerts.
You know, we've talked
That's
about
so-
a lot of stuff from
Oh, we're back with them.
different
Yay!
song leaders that have to do with the Second World War, because you have a bunch of them and stuff. And you've met people and relatives, like Audie Murphy's relatives and stuff, and Helen Back and stuff. Did you guys ever meet anybody that actually...
Ooh. Damn. No, that's right. Y'all keep telling me that I need to check out the Audie Murphy song as well. Ooh, that would be cool.
had anything to do with the uprising itself?
Yeah, several actually. I remember the first couple of people we met. Obviously, we're talking about people who are really old, quite possibly dead now. This was back in 2010. A lot got lost in translation.
Yeah, but you still got to meet them. That's dope as shit.
But it was really hard because, you know, speaking through a translator at a museum, we were at the Warsaw Uprising Museum, but a few days later, we were still in Poland then, we heard of a woman who had fought in the uprising. Her name was Anna.
Wow.
And she had moved to Sweden, actually, after everything happened there.
At the end of the war?
At the end of the war. But it was really one of those moments that I will never forget in my life, because we were speaking Swedish.
Yeah.
Old people in Poland, for obvious reasons, aren't very good at English.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but she lived in Sweden from, I guess, somewhere in the 40s until 2006, I think.
So yeah, she been living in Sweden longer than I've been alive.
I think it was
went
2009.
back.
So she just recently moved back when her husband died, I think it was.
Okay.
And speaking with her and her experiences, and it is so far away from the action movies and everything. I mean, her main...
God, that would be a trip. Like, you find the, like, honestly, probably one of the few people who fought in the uprising and then at the end of the war moved to Sweden, lived there, and then you just so happen to meet her when she moved, just around the time she moved back after all those years. Like, that is insane. And being able to actually speak with someone and understand them because you both speak the same language for once. That is insane.
Main role in the uprising, being a young woman, or a young girl maybe, wasn't, you know, frontline combat.
Right.
But of course, she had to. They captured a tank. A German tank. I can't remember if it was a Leopard or something. They actually captured it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the story
That is
she
cool
would
as
tell
shit.
it is nothing like the movies. Her stories of, delivering messages through the sewers and how cramped and tiny it was. I have no idea how it was, but at the Warsaw Uprising Museum in Warsaw, they have sort of reconstructed those sewers so you can walk through them. And they start out pretty big, then they get pretty small, and you can try and
I'd imagine having to crawl through that shit.
Oh man, if you're even slightly claustrophobic, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Her tale how such an obviously extreme circumstances, living under those circumstances, and still life goes on.
That's I'm glad that you put that out here. That it's not that the Warsaw Uprising or any war or any combat that you sing about and that we talk about is not what it looks like in the movies. Because I think people misunderstand that. And I think people
a lot of people do.
This is the stuff we talk about on this channel and the stuff that they sing about. It's very interesting and it's important to remember these things for a variety of reasons, but it's not cool.
Nope.
It's not what you see in the movies. The movies, they want you to watch the story, great, but they also have to give you entertainment value. And war is not entertainment value. It's not cool.
No, it's so much boredom. I mean, how fun would it be a movie about World War I? Somebody getting sick in a trench, going back to a hospital, going back to the trench, taking one step up, dead.
And that's your video game, and that's 3 weeks you've been playing the game, and that's your first time over. Well, I mean, think of even some people we've covered, like Simo Heihe, right? I mean, he would spend days iced in with ice in it to make a single
shot.
Nothing exciting or romantic about that. It is specifically mechanical.
Yeah, no, there's a huge difference between the entertainment we consume via games or movies or TV shows, whatever you fucking want to hear about, but actual depictions of whatever it is, especially warfare. It is always, we sat like, look at like Nico Ortiz, for example. First person that came to mind, because he's looked at some of his own combat footage he took when he was in Afghanistan. But a lot of his stories is just, we went through this hill. We went through this town. Nothing really happened. We sat on this hill for like 3 days. Nothing happened. Then we went back to base. Shit like that. Stories like that are so common. Where it'll be, or even like, I forget who it was. It was a dude. It was a Marine who was in like an old compound that they were renting from someone who had left the area at the time. And the Marines had ended up taking it over. And he had footage from early aughts of Afghanistan of what they were doing. And he's like, yeah, we'd get mortared a bunch sometimes. But in between each and every one of those is days on end of just fucking boredom. And yeah, that's what it is. It's either really bad or just really fucking boring.
And it is specifically, you can overcome the boredom. I couldn't, I'd have to pee. I would, I'd have to pee at some point, you know?
Oh, speaking of that, we're talking about snipers. I mean, real depictions of snipers, what they would do. Snipers are a fucking breed unto their own. Like, there's jokes about, oh, you shit your pants, you pissed your pants, blah, blah, blah. No, that is something snipers will do if they have to sit in a position for days on end. Not hours, days, almost like weeks at times. And they will sit there and you can't, or days on end, especially, it's just, you can't like get up and go pee behind a tree or anything like that. No, a lot of the time you will be laying there in your own filth. You will piss yourself. You will shit yourself. You are just sitting there in your own filth because if you move, there is a possibility of discovery and you cannot have that.
In a sense, I mean, I'm not comparing a warrior's life
Oh, no,
to,
no,
to
I didn't
what we,
mean
what,
like
we,
that,
what we
yeah.
are doing.
Yeah.
However, there is one similarity. What we are doing as musicians
Yeah.
is sort of the Hollywood version, because what you guys see is us going on stage or hearing the album.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not seeing the rehearsals. You are not seeing the songwriting.
Yes, weird deep cut. If you really want to see like some of the behind the scenes of what happens, like he still kind of makes it seem fun, but that's because he's doing it for entertainment value and whatnot. But to really see the story it takes from being like a no one to actual celebrity status, check out MGK's Kelly Vision. He doesn't do much anymore, but he used to. I remember early days, he did so many. And I've watched every single one multiple times because they're just so entertaining. But it really gives you a behind the scenes of shit you wouldn't normally see, of just the behind the scenes of making sure all the stuff gets to the venue on time. Like all the behind the scenes. It's super interesting.
The retakes, the, you know, all of that. I'm by no means drawing the comparison, but it's a natural thing.
No,
I mean,
It's a comparison, but not in the stakes or anything like that. It's, this is what happened. You get to see the finished product. You don't get to see the work that actively went into
no
it.
movie would be interesting if it was like the trenches in World War I think.
You're right, and but people, you know, especially with World War I.
There's a
and World
couple
War II,
movies that
people
are
say,
kind of
"What's
like
the
that,
most
where it's super
realistic
interesting."
Video game, or what do you think would be the most realistic? The most realistic video game is that you spend 3 or 4 weeks hastily training as an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old who lied about his age in England
Or
and stuff,
younger.
and you get sick and you meet some new people and you hurt yourself, and then you go and you get another 3 weeks and you rotated through the lines and stuff, and yeah, and
Honestly, God, what was it? Was it a Soviet Womble video, I want to say? Where they were giving shit to one of their friends because they play Arma a lot. And Arma is a military simulator a lot of the time. And you see a bunch of videos where you have serious RPers who will actively have chain of command. And one of their friends did a thing like that. They were giving him shit because he's just like, he told a story of he was sitting out in a field for 3 hours, didn't see anyone, finally saw a dude and radioed in to be like, hey, can I shoot this dude? And it took like 30 minutes to reply back. And his chain of command told him no. And like that right there really puts in perspective. Like that was for a video game. You sit out in a field in a video game doing nothing. Finally see someone radio it, hey, it's Jarhead. It's that whole Jarhead scene where and you get told no.
you get killed in the first 20 seconds.
Yep.
And then you have to start the game all over. And you've just spent like 8 weeks playing that character. And that's as far as you got.
And you're lucky because you get to start over.
That's true.
Oh,
They
yeah.
didn't.
Wow. Well, you know what? This episode, it is a hard-hitting episode. And to her, to Anna, and to all the other Annas, and all the other uprisings that were literally hopeless situations, but were still illustrative of the depths of the human spirit. Way to go.
Hell yeah. $44.
All right, everyone.
Dope-ass
Thank you very
concert.
much for watching, and thank you so much for the support with the community. All the Patreons, everyone who's helping, sharing this. We really love doing this, and thanks to you, we can keep on doing it. So keep on doing what you do, and we will keep on doing what we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for making this. It's always a fucking fun time. Make sure you guys check out the originals. They're linked below as always. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. See ya.